Welcome to Green is Good, and we have another great day, and we're here today with Michael Owens, the producer of the Sustainable Facilities Summit and Sustainable Operations Summit. Welcome to Green is Good, Michael.
Hey, how's it going? Good morning, John.
Oh, good morning to you. And Michael, it's so great to have you today. And, listen, you've created a lot of great goodness and greenness around the Sustainable Summit. But before we get to talking about how and why you created it and what's going on there this year, I want you to share a little bit this journey. How did Michael Owen become Michael Owen and get into this position anyway?
Well, I guess maybe I'll get my parents to talk about how Michael Owens became Michael Owens. I've been producing events for, close to about 15 years now, and for the past decade with Craig Michaels, and we produce events for the built environment in the real estate world. And over the past decade, we actually do a number of events in all the different vertical industries, whether it be education, healthcare, retail, for restaurants. And as I'm sure you know, John, a lot has changed in the built environment with regards to the interest in sustainability and LEED buildings. So we saw a trend and an opportunity. We bring together in all those different vertical markets all the major players, whether it's healthcare, we bring together, the Kaiser Permanentes, it's retail, we bring the Walmarts and the Targets together.
Wow.
So we said, why don't we bring the biggest players in these industries together and, share best practices on, sustainability, green building, building efficiency, and obviously promote that as well. We realized that we can, bring together some of the key decision makers in this sector and, really try to push and drive major innovations in the space. So in 2006, we launched the first Sustainable Facility Summit in La Jolla, and we've been running it since. It's taken on, we actually do another event, the Sustainable Operations Summit this past year. We had President Clinton as our keynote speaker at that. But this year we're refocusing it to go back just to dive deep directly into the built environment and actually go above and beyond LEED buildings. So we're pretty excited about this one we have coming up in Tahoe in June because I think we've kind of picked the low-hanging fruit with a lot of the big players here, and there's an interest to actually go a lot further than just talking about retrofitting lighting and traditional LEED buildings. So
I want to get into that in a second, but you're an impressive guy yourself. You're called the idea man at Craig Michaels, and we had a little giggle about your parents at the top, but truly, were you a little greenie growing up? Were your parents tree huggers, or was this something you always wanted to do? Or because obviously you live a green life. You bike to work, you love biking, you love the outdoors, you love the parks here in the New York metropolitan area. What inspired you to become who you became?
I'll be honest. I wasn't raised that way. It wasn't something. I guess in my adult life kind of took on. It just really, kind of upsets me when I see pollution and people not taking respect for the environment. So I just kind of think it's maybe where I live in Brooklyn. I think everyone here is kind of something in the water. But in reality too, it's also I see the business opportunity as well, and it makes good business. So I'm definitely not, I'm always happy to say, I wasn't raised, I'm not a big tree hugger by any means.
Got it.
But I see that there's, you have to respect the environment, and doing good business is, part of caring about the greater world.
And that's so true. Talk a little bit about this summit. So the next summit's coming up June 23rd to 25th. Now, it is a massively impressive group of folks that you have together speaking at this one. And for our listeners out there who just joined us, we got Michael Owens on. And Michael is, basically, as I said earlier, he's the idea man at Craig Michaels. They put on these wonderful summits. This one's a Sustainable Facility Summit. And if you want to learn more, you could go to www.sustainablesummit.com, and you can learn more about it. But I'm looking at the presenters here, and you've got, Microsoft, Rob Bernard from Microsoft, and you've got cities from Austin and Portland and Harvard University institutions and Whole Foods. Talk a little bit about why bring all these people together, and then what happens at the summit itself? Why have so many great people at the summit speaking, and what comes out of it?
Okay, yeah. Basically what we look to do is we like to call us, we like to put together an event of bringing together, you just ran off a bunch of names there, a lot of great organizations like Kaiser Permanente and Whole Foods and Starbucks and Walmart.
Unbelievable.
But it's also the venue. So we're going to be in Lake Tahoe. It's not in the convention center or a city downtown. So we have a captive audience for 3 days, and it's about knowledge exchange and networking and relationship building. So the actual conference program, it is a conference per se if you look at it from that angle, but it's really about, the sharing of ideas, and we're going to have a lot of different social activities to kind of get people out of the office and really kind of get to know each other and sharing ideas. So, with this program, when we have something like Harvard coming together with the city of Austin and Walmart, they're not usually on panels together and sharing things. So it's a nice opportunity there to kind of get people to learn cross industries as well.
And so what they're doing at these events are sharing best practices with your audience and everyone else in terms of what's making their institution great. How are they taking it to the next level in the process that they've been involved with?
Exactly. Yes. I mean, we'll have topics, everything from ranging about, creating healthier environments, materials transparency. A lot of the push now, as I was saying before, about going above and beyond just, say, energy efficiency, is actually taking a look at the materials that are used in buildings and their health impact and environmental impact. So we'll be talking about that, and then Microsoft will be discussing what they're doing in that area. Water conservation strategies. Walmart is has been doing a lot of wonderful work with water conservation on their sites. And Don Mosley from Walmart will be there to discuss that.
So you talk about water and green building and things of that such. What are some of the hottest topics today that people want to come speak about and people want to hear about?
Mm-hmm. One of the biggest things right now is existing buildings. When we say green building, and especially in the news and the press, you'll see a lot of stories about, a brand new skyscraper, say, here in New York City, whether it be Bank of America Tower. There's a lot of interest in talking about shiny new buildings, but the reality is the majority of the buildings that are out there today, are the ones that are responsible, that will be here for the next 50 years as well, responsible for the most of the carbon emissions. So a lot of the focus and interest is taking the existing buildings and what can you actually do with them and to drive them and do deep energy retrofits. But the big challenge there, too, is also the financing of these projects. So we're going to have, conversations. I believe you know who Mike Richter is.
Yep, absolutely.
You and I were together at the Green Sports Alliance dinner.
Yeah. Yes.
Mike Richter, former, hockey great from the Rangers.
Yeah.
He's actually going to be speaking at our summit in Tahoe. And for those not familiar with what Mike's been up to recently, he actually is founded a company called Healthy Planet Partners. And his organization is financing energy retrofits. And so he's going to be sharing, some of the different mechanisms that are available for people that are interested in doing that with their buildings. And we also then have the Rocky Mountain Institute coming to talk about their research on how to really drive deep energy retrofits. So, of course, a marquee project the Rocky Mountain Institute has worked on is the Empire State Building here in New York City.
Right.
And the retrofit of that building has gotten a lot of press, and justly so, because, it's an iconic building, and they're using that to showcase what you can really do with deep energy retrofits. Michael,
what's so interesting about what you do in the events that you put on at Craig Michaels, if I'm not mistaken, you do the Campus Development Summit, you do the Collegiate Athletic Facility Summit, the Retail Facility Summit. So really, you're trying to move the needle in all sorts of properties that we all live in, whether it's our fun time at a college football game or our shopping time at the local mall or our learning time at the local university. You're truly touching almost all facets of life in the properties that we're living in. Is this not true?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to look at myself in that light, but we do have a big influence, as I was saying earlier, that in these sectors we do bring the biggest players together. And, kind of circling back to what I was just saying is that, the building sector has the most potential for delivering significant emission reductions. Right. And if we don't meet these reductions, without, through energy efficiency, we're kind of going to be in trouble down the line. So you just touched on the Collegiate Athletic Summit that we're doing in Austin in July. And for that event, if you think of colleges are kind of, when you talk about the environmental movement and even sustainability, college campuses are pretty progressive in that area because the students want it. But we found that there's a large disconnect between the regular campus and the athletics department. The athletics department and the stadiums and the arenas, it's kind of an afterthought for them when they're talking about whether it be recycling, energy efficiency. So, we do this Collegiate Athletic Facility Summit, and of course, they're more concerned about naming rights and, trying to get more money out of the ticket holders.
Right.
But they weren't really looking at the opportunities to save money, specifically with energy, and also waste, in that area. So we've been doing that event, and we've, been trying to do our end to try to bring some influence into the program that we have together. And as a matter of fact, Mike Richter will be our keynote speaker at that one too. So I think they'll definitely relate to him, and we see some good things coming out of that. And obviously with the Green Sports Alliance as well, they're actually going to be speaking at that program.
Michael, when you do like the Collegiate Facilities Summit, are you getting a double win? Because not only are you creating greener stadiums and greener arenas for all of us to enjoy around college athletics and things of that such, but is it also motivational and inspirational to the students because they learn along the way, it gets messaged to them what's actually happening there, so they're able to take that with them and can then grab the sustainability torch and then run with it in their professional lives when they matriculate out of college?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think that the students they're expecting it, to be honest, at the collegiate level. And that's what we found kind of interesting with that market is that they want to see it. That they're surprised that they actually haven't done it. I think just the casual fans, that there's a bigger opportunity there, that not the students or, whether it be, someone young or old, and actually seeing that their favorite team is actually, considering this has a pretty large impact. As the Green Sports Alliance has done a lot of great work to kind of document that with professional teams, and now they're working now to obviously push it further with the collegiate sports. Another area, we do an event called the K-12 Facility Summit. So we bring all the heads of facilities and real estate from all the school districts together.
Right.
And that's a wonderful opportunity there, too. I mean, schools, the aging school buildings that we have out there is a big problem. But also going back to the health impact of that as well. Healthier, greener schools have there's a lot of studies out there that can show that has a great impact on student learning.
So when it comes to these buildings that we all live in, whether it's our office building, whether it's our local mall, our collegiate center, and things of that such, a couple of things you're aiming for then is energy efficiency, I'm taking it, and also good clean water and also clean air in these buildings. Is this what a lot of the topics are surrounding when you have your great summits?
Exactly. Yeah, for the most part, yeah. And also, there's definitely a lot of interest, geographically, in certain areas, of course, with renewables as well. So when you're talking about schools and even healthcare, for whether it's solar or geothermal, and we talk about that at these summits.
Cool. Michael, we have about 2.5 minutes left, and I just want to ask you, what's the goals coming out of the summit? When you're done, when a summit's done, you say, okay, another great summit. What are the takeaways, the 2 or 3 takeaways that you like to walk away with and say, okay, this was another successful summit? What are your personal goals when a summit's done?
Well, that's a great question, John, because, for me, I've attended, outside of producing events, I attend a lot of events as well to, kind of see what's going on in the market. And there's nothing worse than walking away from an event, either not feeling inspired or not having some actionable item that you can take back and hopefully, bring something into your organization that you learn from, or even some good contacts that you can go. So, for me, as a person that brings these people together and also creates the content, I want to make sure that the content is actually beneficial to the audience, that they can actually, learn something and bring it back and hopefully apply it within their buildings and their organizations. One other speaker I didn't touch on is Dennis Hayes from the Bullets Foundation. Right. If you're familiar, if you see the news, gotten a lot of press. They just opened up the Bullet Center. It's the greenest commercial building in the world. Huh. Dennis actually was probably best known for being the coordinator of the first Earth Day, and so he's kind of like the father of Earth Day.
That's awesome.
And, so we have him speaking. He's actually the kickoff speaker of the summit, doing a case study on on designing, building, and of course now opening Bullet Center. There's a lot of interest in that because they're going away. They're doing a living building. They're part of the Living Building Challenge, so that's above and beyond LEED. They're doing a lot. I mean, they have compostable toilets and a lot of crazy things, and it's almost like a living laboratory. So we feel that, from people that can come to this event and they're going to hear this case study, that they can actually, learn a few things and maybe go back and, keep in touch with Dennis afterwards and apply some of these things in their building. So kind of, I guess, a non-answer, but, for me, I just think that, if they can learn a few things there, that they can actually go back and be inspired to try to do it in their buildings, then we're definitely, achieving our goals. And of course, we want these from the way our format works and the location is really to kind of also for people to build relationships. They can actually keep in touch with one another after the event, which is kind of hard if you're at a large trade show to kind of make those connections.
Michael, we're down to the last minute or so. Is there any last thoughts that you have for our listeners out there that want to become the next Michael Owens and do the great work that you're doing?
Well, you got to get in touch with my parents on that one. But no, I mean, it's kind of tough with the industry that I've kind of found my way into here. It's definitely a unique one, and I love the work that I do because I'm constantly meeting interesting people and learning a lot of different things and bringing people together. But I think that just overall, and I think that's the theme of your show here, is that there's a lot of great opportunities out there to work for organizations that have a greater social impact as well. So, I mean, that's kind of the work that I always kind of sought out, and I like to see other people doing that as well.
Well, we thank you for coming on today. We want to have you back to share more of the great stories and more of the information about your summits. And for our listeners out there that want to learn more about Michael and his great work, please go to www.sustainablesummit.com. Michael Owens, you are the ID man of the Sustainable Summits and truly living proof that green is good.
John, thank you so much, and keep up the great work.